While this podcast isn't rated explicit, the content may not be suitable for younger listeners. Welcome to Sex for Saints, the Christian couple's guide to great sex. I am your host, certified sex and marriage coach, Amanda Lauder. This is episode 350, The Difference Between Sexuality and Eroticism. Welcome to Sex for Saints, a podcast for Christian couples. My goal with this podcast is to help enlighten, educate, and inspire you to understand yourself, your spouse, and your sexuality better. I talk about sex in a way you probably haven't heard before. I'm bold, I'm direct, but I keep everything in line with my strong Christian values. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. So happy to have you here. I hope you had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. When was the last time that you felt fully alive in your marriage? Not just happy or content, but truly vibrant, connected, and energized by your relationship. For many of us, sex becomes just another item on the to-do list, a quick physical release, or a chore we check off without much thought. But what if I told you that sex could be about so much more than just satisfying a physical urge? What if it could be an experience of deep connection and creativity that leaves you and your spouse feeling fully alive? Today, we're diving into the powerful difference between sexuality and eroticism and how this distinction can completely transform your marriage. So let's start with some clarity. Sexuality is the foundation of our physical being. It's the primal biological drive for connection and reproduction. It's the rush of hormones that makes your pulse quicken when your partner kisses you in just the right way. It's instinctual and raw. It's what makes us human. But while sexuality is essential, it's only the starting point. Eroticism, on the other hand, is something much deeper. It's sexuality infused with imagination. It's the sense of playfulness, curiosity, and vitality that makes intimacy exciting and meaningful. Think of it as the poetry of sex, where creativity transforms the physical act into something alive with possibility. It's not just about what you're doing. It's about the intention, the energy, and the connection behind it. Imagine this. A kiss can simply be lips touching, warm and pleasant. That's sexuality. Now imagine that same kiss when it's slow, lingering, and filled with the kind of desire that says, I see you and I want you. It becomes a dance of connection, a spark of intimacy that sets your whole body buzzing. That's eroticism. So in our modern world, we often reduce sex to mechanics, how often we're doing it, how good we are at it, and whether it's satisfying. Sex becomes a performance, a transaction, or simply a way to satisfy a physical urge. But when we strip away the deeper meaning, something essential is lost. And the truth is, you can have sex and feel very little. History is full of examples of women, in particular, engaging in sex out of duty or obligation and not desire. Without eroticism, sex can feel empty, a routine we go through to keep the peace or fulfill expectations. This is where many couples find themselves stuck, wondering why their intimacy feels flat or uninspired. One of the most surprising insights about eroticism comes from Esther Perel's research on infidelity. When people are asked why they had an affair, the most common answer isn't about sex at all. Instead, they describe feeling alive, vibrant, connected, and energized in a way that they hadn't experienced in years. It's not the affair itself that created that aliveness. It's the sense of being desired, of stepping out of the mundane and into something electric. Here's the good news. You don't need an affair to feel alive. That same vibrancy can exist in a committed marriage where you prioritize imagination, curiosity, and connection. Hey listeners, are you loving the tips and insights from Sex for Saints? Want to apply them to your own life? Join my Embrace You Elite Society membership. In this exclusive membership, you'll get access to personalized coaching, practical tools, and a supportive community of women all working towards enhancing their intimate lives. Ready to take your intimacy to the next level? Visit amandalauder.com and join today. Let's embrace a more fulfilling and intimate life together. Now back to the show. So how do we bring this sense of aliveness into a marriage? The first step is rethinking the way that we approach sex. Too often we wait until we're in the mood or feeling physically aroused before we initiate. But sex in a healthy marriage isn't about scratching an itch. It's about cultivating desire for your partner and the shared experience of connection. When sex becomes a routine or a duty, it loses its spark. But when it's rooted in desire not just for physical pleasure, but for the unique connection you share with your spouse, it becomes transformative. This kind of desire isn't accidental. It's intentional. It's about choosing to engage with your partner even when you're tired or distracted, because you value the connection that it creates. So imagine you've had a long, exhausting day, you're not in the mood, and sex feels like the furthest thing from your mind. Instead of shutting down the possibility, ask yourself a different question. How can I connect with my spouse right now? Maybe that connection starts with a hug, a shared laugh, or simply lying close together. When we open ourselves up to moments of intimacy, desire often follows naturally. Now, eroticism isn't something that just happens. It's something we create. It's about infusing your relationship with curiosity, playfulness, and intention. Think back to the early days of your relationship. Everything felt new and exciting because you were curious about each other. You asked questions, you flirted, and you paid attention to the little details. That same curiosity can be reignited no matter how long you've been married. Playfulness is another key ingredient of eroticism. When was the last time you and your spouse truly played together? Flirting, teasing, and laughing are powerful ways to break out of routine and create an atmosphere of lighthearted connection. Maybe it's a cheeky text, maybe a surprise kiss, or even a silly game that turns into something more. Playfulness invites spontaneity, and spontaneity is at the heart of eroticism. Eroticism isn't just limited to the bedroom either. It's about the way you engage with each other in everyday life. A simple touch as you pass each other in the kitchen, a whispered compliment, or a meaningful look can all be acts of erotic connection. These small moments build anticipation and remind your partner, I see you and I desire you. When we infuse eroticism into our marriages, we're not just making sex better. We're making our entire relationship more vibrant. Eroticism is the antidote to monotony that often creeps into long-term relationships. It's what keeps us curious about our partner, what keeps the spark alive even after years together. The beauty of eroticism is that it doesn't just make your marriage feel alive, it makes you feel alive. When you bring vitality and creativity into the intimate life, it spills over into every other part of your relationship and even your own sense of self. That's why I say when the sex gets better, which I mean eroticism, right? Everything gets better. So this week, I want to challenge you to bring a little more eroticism into your marriage. Maybe it's trying something new in the bedroom, asking your spouse a playful question, or simply focusing on how you can make your connection feel more alive. Notice the difference it makes, not just in how you feel about your spouse, but in how you also feel about yourself. I know that this is something that my husband and I are actually really good at. And we infuse that vibrancy, that creativity, that aliveness and playfulness into all areas of our marriage. And that translates directly into the bedroom. So I know this works because I have personal experience with it. Sexuality is the foundation, but eroticism is the spark. It's what turns a routine marriage into a vibrant, passionate partnership. So don't just settle for going through the motions. Choose to connect, to create, and to cultivate a marriage that makes you both truly feel alive. And if you need some more help with that, you know where to find me. All right, my friends, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember, love is a journey, not a destination. Stay committed, stay passionate, and stay connected. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Like what you're hearing on this podcast? Make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. Don't forget to leave me a review and share it with your friends.